everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new DC Films Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice 7-inch scale armored Batman figure from DC Collectibles. Now this new line of figure comes packaged in a window box style of packaging, very similar to what we see with other DC Collectible figures. You've got the figure clearly displayed. On the front you have the DC Films logo and the DC Collectibles logo. Off to the side we have the name of the character, and it tells us this is figure number 1 in the series. Then on the side of the packaging we have an image of the figure, and on the back of the packaging we have a look at both figures in wave 1, so the armored Batman and then the Dawn of Justice Superman figure. And then down below it tells us that this figure was sculpted by James Marsano. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now first of all, you get a little instruction sheet that shows you how to install the batteries. Now the batteries actually come installed in the figure, but it shows you if you need to replace them at any time what kind of batteries, and they're little watch batteries. And the batteries are for the light up feature, the eyes light up on the figure. So I'll show you that in a minute. Also it shows you how to switch out the hands, and then on the back it shows you how the figure stand that it comes with works as well. So the flight stand that's included comes in 3 different pieces when you take it out of the packaging. You get the base, you get the arm piece, and then you get the clamp. Now the way this works is you want to put the clamp here at the top where the little peg is, and it just slides over top of it like that. And then the thicker end, the side with the thicker peg, that goes into the base, and you got multiple holes on the base, so you can put it in any of these holes. And then you've got articulation down here, so you got up and down movement and you got rotation there. Then you have articulation here, so you can do up and down. There's no rotation here at the midsection. And then the clamp piece you can do up and down, and you've got rotation there. Now the clamp is spring loaded, so you've got a little handle here so to open it, but if you release it, it's going to go back to the closed position, so just be wary of that. So to get the figure in the stand, what you want to do is just pull back the clamp and then have it like clamp around the figure's waist, and then it'll hold the figure pretty good, you know, depending on where you put the arm on the base. Now I had to actually tighten these screws up, the screw here, here, and here, because it was pretty loose when the screws were pretty loose when I took it out of the packaging, and this figure's a little bit on the heavy side, so in order to get this stand to support the figure's weight, I had to actually tighten those screws up a bit. The figure comes with 3 different pairs of hands. So you get a pair of closed-fisted hands, and these are the ones that are attached to the figure when you first take it out of the packaging. Then you get a pair of open grip type hands, and then you get a pair of hands for holding the kryptonite gun that it comes with. So changing the hands, you just pop off the one hand and you've got the little ball joint on the arm and then the hole on the hand. I will tell you though that you may need to take a blow dryer if you're going to replace the closed-fisted hands with one of the alternate pair of hands. At least with mine, I've not been able to get them to just pop on without taking a hair dryer to them. So the closed-fisted hands fit with no problem, they just snap right on, but with these alternate hands I've had to take a blow dryer to them before I've been able to get them to snap on. And then the final accessory that this figure comes with is the kryptonite gun that you see Batman use in the movie, and I think the sculpting detail on this is pretty good. It's done with just a dark gray plastic, there's really no paint detail on it. You do have a little metallic silver here on the end of the barrel, but overall I think the sculpting on it's decent. One thing I do want to caution though is this piece of plastic here on the back is very thin, and when you're putting it in the figure's hands, this back piece can kind of get bent a little bit, so just be careful. You can see I've kind of stressed the plastic a little bit, and if you're not careful you might snap that off. And as long as you have the grip hand on the figure, then he'll hold this pretty good. But again, you want to be careful because this little back piece tends to get bent a little bit against the figure's arm. And like I said, if you're not careful, you might snap that off. So for the figure, first thing you want to do when you get it out of the packaging is you'll notice this little white tag sticking out the back. And basically what you want to do is just pull it out so that the light feature will work. Now this is the battery compartment here, and there's the little screw here. So if you need to replace the batteries, you have to unscrew that and remove this. Now they've got this little ribbon that's sticking out. You could probably tuck that inside if you wanted to. I haven't opened this up to do that. When it came out of the packaging, this little ribbon was already sticking out. But again, you could probably tuck that inside the battery compartment if that bothers you. So for the figure itself, I think DC Collectibles has done a pretty nice job with the sculpting on this one. The armor looks pretty true to what we see in the movie. I like the way the helmet has been sculpted. I think that looks pretty good and movie accurate. The face, you know, you don't really see enough of the face with this figure to be able to tell who it is underneath the helmet. So, you know, I can't really fault the figure for not looking like Ben Affleck, because none of the armored Batman figures that I've seen, you know, I could say looks like Ben Affleck. But again, you really just don't see enough of the face to be able to tell. So that doesn't really bother me. I do like how the ears are sculpted, and then you've got some scratches on the helmet. And I like throughout the entire figure this metallic paint that they've used that has kind of some lighter and darker wash mixed in, so it definitely looks like it's armor, you know, metal armor that he's wearing. So I think that's good. The skin tone is maybe a little bit on the pale side, but not too bad. Then he's got this cape that is attached and at the shoulders, and there's a little bit of give with that, which is good. I will say that the cape is made with I don't know if I want to call this vinyl, but it is a very smooth type material. It's not just cloth. And my only problem with it is you can see here with the stitching, you see some strings kind of sticking out, so I can probably trim that off, but that would probably be my only complaint. Also, maybe the side of the cape, it has a tendency to kind of fold under, which is a little bit of a pain sometimes when you're trying to pose it. So definitely I think it looks better when you have this kind of more smoothed out here on the side. There are wires that go down the side of this cape to help you pose it, and then the cape is much longer than the figure, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but that is pretty movie accurate, so I guess I can't really complain about that too much. Now the light up feature, basically if you want the eyes to light up, there's this button here on his chest, and you just push it and the eyes will light up, and the eyes will only stay lit up for like a minute or so, and then it shuts off automatically. If you push it again, it'll also shut off, but the eyes won't stay on indefinitely. I've shut off some of the lights so you can get a better look, and it lights up pretty good, so I do like the light up effect on this figure, and I like how easy it is to turn it on and off. And then I like with the cape how it looks on the outside of the cape. It looks more like it's leather material, and then on the inner part of the cape it looks more like it's cloth material. The rest of the figure, I think DC Collectibles has done a nice job with the sculpting of the armor. Looks very movie accurate, and again I like that metallic paint that they've used throughout the figure. He's got this strap that goes down across his chest, and this is a separate piece. It's not removable, and it's done with just kind of a rubber type material. And then you've got some lighter metallic silver here on the buckle of the strap, so I like that. And then you've got some gold metallic paint here for the utility belt, which I think looks good. And then again with these pieces that stick out on his wrists, as well as these pieces that stick out on his lower legs. And then he's got the spikes on the bottom of his boots, which are sculpted nicely. And then I like here near his thighs, you can see like the costume portion that's under the armor. I like the detailing with that, and definitely looks like, you know, it's part of his actual Batman costume as opposed to the armor pieces. So I like that detailing as well. And even on the back, you've got some pretty nice sculpting detail with these little silver things that stick out the back, I guess to attach the chest plate. So I like that, and that's done with a lighter metallic silver. And again, you've got some costume portions showing here with his butt. So again, just overall nice detailing with the sculpting and paint applications on this figure. This figure stands at about 7 1/4 inches tall. Here's a comparison with other Dawn of Justice armored Batman figures that have been released. So this is the Mafex one. This one's the Mezco 112 Collective one, and then the Mattel one. And these other three figures are all 6-inch scale, so the DC Collectibles one is definitely the tallest. And here's a close-up of the face sculpts of the three higher-end armored Batman figures. So we've got the Mezco one, and then the Mafex one. And I think all three of these, you know, they look, yeah, I can't really say any of them look like Ben Affleck, again, because the helmet covers so much of the face, it's really hard to tell. And then finally, here's a comparison with various other DC Collectible Batman figures. So we've got a new 52 7-inch Batman figure, we've got a Greg Capullo armored Batman figure, we've got Arkham Knight Batman, which is also a 7-inch scale figure, and then we've got a 6-inch Batman the Animated Series and a 6-inch Batman Icons figure. Okay, so for articulation, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. Now the chin ends up hitting the side of the armor a little bit. You can kind of lift it over so you can turn the head more if you want. He can look down pretty good. He can't really look back at all. In fact, that's about as far as you can get it. If you try and do it anymore, the head will pop off the ball joint. And if that does happen, just be careful because you've got the wire that goes up from the neck into the head for the light up eye effect. So you don't want to just pull the head off and rip that wire out. The arms are attached with ball joints, so ball hinge joints, so he can get his arm out about that much. He's got this shoulder pad which is articulated, and the shoulder pad actually moves with the arm, so he's got good rotation. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow, so good bending there at the elbow. He's got swivels at the wrist, and then he's got hinges on the hands, so he's got up and down movement with the hands. He's got a midsection joint, so, and again, this is basically attached with the ball joint, so he can rotate a little bit, but with the way the armor sculpted, not too much. And then he has no crunch. He can't crunch down at all and really can't look back at all. Again, you can kind of do it a little bit, but not too much. He does not have a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, so he can do the splits good. He can get his leg forward good, and he can do his leg out and back because of the way the butt is sculpted. You can also pull that joint down so it comes down out of the crotch a little bit for more movement, and you can kind of rotate it there. Again, it's attached with a ball joint. He doesn't have an actual thigh swivel though. He's got a double hinged knee, so good bending at the feet are attached with ball hinge joints, so he's got up and down movement, a bit of up and down movement with the feet, and he's got a little bit of ankle pivot, and he can rotate there at the foot as well. And then no peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I think this is a pretty good figure. I like the sculpting detail with the armor, and the paint applications are solid. Articulation is pretty decent. I do think the figure could maybe use a few more accessories. The fact that we only get the kryptonite gun is a little disappointing. Maybe a grapple gun or something would have been nice as well. I do like the light up effect with the eyes though. And the cape is kind of hit or miss for me. I like the cape, but at the same time, the little strings, which obviously I could trim, that's not a big deal, but I don't like how the material kind of bunches up on the right side of the shoulder. That's kind of a pain when you're trying to pose it. But again, otherwise I think this is a pretty solid figure, and if you're a fan of Dawn of Justice and the armored Batman, I think this is one you'll want to add to your collection. Now this figure, along with the Superman figure, which I will also be taking a look at this week, are not yet out here in the United States. They have seen a limited release overseas. I picked mine up off of eBay, and these should start hitting comic and specialty shops, I believe, early next month in December. We'll have a full image gallery up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.